Good morning and welcome to the second grade Memorial Day program. This program has been a long-standing tradition for our second grade students, and we are pleased to have you here. At this time, I would like to invite our principal, Mr. Campbell, to the stage.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us today. A couple of notes really quickly before we get started formally. If you could please check quickly to make sure that your cell phones and pagers are at least on silence. That would be nice. We have a wonderful presentation planned for you. We don't want you to miss a single one. With that said, I'd like to welcome everyone to our show. A special thanks to Mrs. Lane for joining us today, the superintendent of schools. Always a pleasure to see her. Sharon, it's always a pleasure, and of course, most importantly, our honored guest today, gentlemen who have served our country from across the years, and we're always honored to have you all with us. I ask at this time that everybody rise, if you have a happy movement. And just so you know what's happening, if I'm going to lead you in the pledge, after the pledge, if you could please remain standing, the students are going to sing the Star Spangled Banner. So, you join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Remain standing.
Thank you, and you may be seated. We are gathered here today to honor and respect the true meaning of Memorial Day. It is important for everyone to take time out of their holiday weekend with family and friends to stop and remember those who served our country valiantly and preserved our freedom. All of the second graders have worked extremely hard memorizing poems, researching Memorial Day history and traditions, and rehearsing songs to make this a most memorable program. We'd like to give a special thank you to our music teacher, Mrs. Kelly, for helping us with our songs. Please enjoy today's program. To have many special veterans here with us on the stage today. Please listen carefully to a little history about each veteran. I would like to introduce Mr. Carol DeMoga. Mr. DeMoga is a veteran of World War II. He entered the Army in 1942. And became a surgical tech. Mr. DeMoga landed at Normandy 2 months He was in the Battle of the Bulge, which Winston Churchill stated as undoubtedly the greatest American battle of World War and regarded as an ever-famous American victory.
I'd like to welcome Mr. John Gamoka. While his brother Carol was battling the war in Europe, he was on a gun crew in the Pacific Ocean aboard the USS Baltimore. This 9-battle starship carried President Roosevelt and General Douglas MacArthur to Hawaii and Alaska in 1944. He also witnessed the sinking of the aircraft carrier USS Franklin.
My grandfather, Airman First Class Stephen F. Hutnack. He served as a weapons mechanic and loader in the U.S. Air Force during the Vietnam War. While overseas, he was stationed in Guam in Thailand, where he worked on B-52 bombers and F-4C fighters.
July 6, 1931. He served in the Navy from 1950 to 1954. He served aboard the USS Soli DD-07. He completed an around-the-world tour and obtained the rank of Commissary Mansu, the head chef aboard the ship. He served 7 months in the Korean combat zone. His general quarters station was on the bridge of the ship. Most of the time, his ship was stationed in the Wonsan Harbor in Korea as an on-call ship to cover the Army and Marines on needs. Has served 29 years in the Army. He has participated in 5 tours of duty, 1 in Kosovo, 3 in Iraq, and 1 in Afghanistan. He is currently assigned to Special Operations Command in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. He is also the former commander of the VFW Post 7554. Jeff Guilford, who is current commander of the FW Post 7554, is also with us this morning.
My grandfather, J. Armadillo, was in the U.S. Navy. He served as an aviation electronics tech from September 1956 to 1960 on an aircraft carrier for long movement.
Philip Falcon Jr. was in the Army during World War II. He was stationed in Germany and was a surgical tech. Mr. Falcon was part of the European, African, and Middle Eastern Theater Campaign. Specialist Patrick Martian was an infantryman, 371 Cavalry, 3rd Brigade, 10th Mountain Division in Fort Drum, New York. He did 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan.
William Sigilnik was a crew chief in the Army from 1968 to 1969. He is a decorated Vietnam veteran who is honorably discharged. I would like to introduce Brian Moody, Jared Rashigian, and Brianna Taft from Mrs. Matchak's class, who will give us a little history on the war monuments in our town and when the parade will be held.